Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala ahlihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. So today we'll begin Durusu Salis, Book 3 of Durusu Lughatul al-Arabiyyah. And Book 3 is actually very exciting. Book 3 is like the combination of Book 1, Book 2, and some more. So it's like Book 1 and 2 have been preparing us to tackle Book 3. So in Book 3, there are a lot of things we've studied in Book 1 and 2 that we'll study again, but this time in more detail. And Book 3 will kind of expose you to most of the things that you should know in Arabic language at the best amount of detail. And the first lesson in Book 3 is definitely going to be talking about al-i'rabu wal-bina. So mubtada, khabar, marfu, majzum, and mansub, and all of that. So we'll be talking about that in detail. So we'll be looking at how nouns or verbs, mansub or majru, and what are their signs of being like this, and why are they like this. So we'll be talking about that, and inshallah, as usual, I'll be bringing Quranic verses where necessary, and because this particular topic of i'rab wa bina is something that is treated by Ibn Malik in the Alfiya also. So we'll take some of the lines from Ibn Malik, and we'll combine the explanations, and inshallah we'll have a good understanding. So it begins with al-i'rabu wal-bina'u al-i'rabu wal-bina'u fil asma'. I'rab and something being mabni in the nouns. So this is the first thing we'll study. And then after studying this, we'll also study at-tawabi'. So the tawabi', what are the tawabi'? We've been introduced to this in bits and pieces, like the badal, like the nat and man'ut. These are things that they follow one another. The i'rab must follow one another. So if one of them is marfu', the other must be marfu'. If one of them is mansub, the other must be mansub. So we'll learn this in detail, and after that we'll learn al-i'rabu wal-bina'u fil af'al. But before this, we should look at the ta'rif of al-i'rab wal-bina. We've been doing i'rab, we've been attempting it from al-juz'ul awwal, the first book. But what technically is the definition of al-i'rab and al-bina? So that if we know this, and then we can know, go ahead and build on this and know what is the sign of i'rab. So al-i'rab هو تغيير في أواخر الكلمات العربية. إعراب is the changes. تغيير. إعراب is the changes في أواخر الكلمات, in the end of كلمات العربية, in the end of Arabic words, the changes that happen at the end of Arabic words. This is إعراب. وتغيير في أواخر الكلمات العربية, the ends change in Arabic words. لاختلاف العوامل الداخلة عليها. But they don't just change arbitrarily because they want to change. That doesn't happen. They change for a reason. What is the reason now from the ta'rif? لاختلاف العوامل الداخلة عليها. It is because of the changes of the agents that enter upon them. So we say Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muhammadun, and this is what we began book 1 with. Muhammadun, finishing with the dhammatain, marfu'. Why? Because being marfu' is the asl for the asma. The noun, they have to be marfu' if nothing is happening to them. Now, what if an amil enters upon Muhammad and start acting upon it, an agent? لاختلاف العوامل الداخلة عليها. So we bring an amil, an agent that can act on Muhammad, and we say Inna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Indeed, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Now, in this case, Muhammad has changed. So this is what we mean. That they don't change arbitrarily, but they change لاختلاف العوامل الداخلة عليها لفظا أو تقديرا. And the changes can be lafzan. Changes can be something you pronounced, like Muhammadun, Muhammadan, أو تقديرا. Or it can be estimated, it's not pronounced. So take for example, we say Musa Rasulullah. Musa. It is marfu'. Now, what if the same amil enters upon it? Inna Musa Rasulullah. This is also Musa. So this is, the change is taqdira. It is estimated. It is not lafdha. We did not pronounce it. So this is the ta'rif of al-i'rab, and al-bina is just the opposite. But we can have a ta'rif for that also. فالبناء. So what is bina? البناء is لزوم الكلمة حالة واحدة. Is the remaining of a word in one hal, in one condition, in one mood. Is the لزوم الكلمة. Is for a word to remain حالة, to stick to a particular mood, a particular form. Wahidatan, one particular form. So it's just sticking to it, like haza. So haza tayyibun. This is good. Inna haza tayyibun. Inna enters upon haza, is still haza. You don't have haza, hazi, hazu. So this is mabni. It is fixed. The end is fixed. Luzumu kalima halatan wahidatan wa adamu taghayyuri akhiriha. And this is the absence of changing of its end. بسبب ما يدخل عليها. It doesn't care about what enters upon it from the agent. Is its ending just remains the same. أو بسبب موقعها في الجملة. In fact, it doesn't care if its position requires it to change its ending is fixed. So this is i'rab and this is bina. So now that we know i'rab and bina, we'll go and look briefly at the alamatul i'rab, the signs of i'rab. How do you know something? What sign will you see for you to know this is marfu'? What sign will you see for you to know this is mansub? What word uses this sign? So this is going to be a summary, a little overview of everything. We'll go in much more detail from the key of Dr. Abdul Rahim, but this is a nice image to have. So we'll begin with al-raf'u. That is, what is the sign of something being marfu'? The sign of raf'u, the sign of being marfu'. For every of them, the sign of raf', the sign of nasb, the sign of khafd, and khafd is the same one known as jar, something being majru. And this table has left one out, that is jazm, the sign of being majzum, and that is only, it is khas for af'al. It is only verbs that are majzum, that become majzum. All right. So this three and even being majzum, they usually have a sign that we call asliya, the fundamental sign, the principal sign. And then they'll have another sign called fara'iyya. So the secondary signs. So for the signs of raf', for the signs of nasb, for the signs of khafd, and for the signs of jazm, there is asliya and far'iyya. So what are the signs of something being marfu'? What is the sign of raf'? This asliya sign of raf' is dhamma. Al-asliyatu al-dhamma. Something finishes with a dhamma, that's the primary sign that it is marfu'un, like Muhammadun, but that's not all. All right, so which group of nouns uses the asliya sign to be marfu'? Which groups of words? Even this table is going to contain even the af'al. So number one group is the al-asma'ul mufrad, the singular words, like Muhammadun, ja'a Muhammadun. Muhammadun in this case is the fa'il, so it is marfu'. What is the alamatu raf'? Now we have to start when we're doing the i'rab, we'll be identifying the alama. What is the alamatu raf'? The signs of raf', or if it is nasb, what is the alamatu nasb? So the alamatu raf of Muhammadun in this case is the dhamma, al-dhammatu dhahiratu ala akhirih. It's the clear dhamma that you can see at the end of it, and it is an asliya alama, is a sign that is fundamental. The second group of words that use the fundamental sign are the jam'u taksir. Remember jam'u taksir? Jam'u taksir are the broken plurals. Example, الرجال. So you say قام الرجال. قام الرجال. The men stood. So قام is the فعل. الرجال is the فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة. This, so the sign of its being marfu' is the dhamma that is clear on the end of it. And this is because these are a group of nouns that use the alama to asliya. They use the primary signs of i'rab. Number one, we say the ismul mufrad, and number two, jam'u taksir. What is the alama to raf'? The dhamma, asliya. And number three is jam'u al-muannasu as-salim. So jam'u al-muannas as-salim. These are the feminine sound plural. And the alama to raf is the dhamma also. Example, muslimatun, muslimatun. So muslimatun. You have the dhamma at the end of the ta. This is from a verse in the Quran, muslimatun qanitatun. And Allah gave a lot of jam'u mu'annas salim in that verse. And of course, you can see that they all end with a dhamma being marfu' using the asliya sign. So what about the fara'iyya? What are the secondary sign of something being marfu' in Arabic? So you have three asliya sign. You have one asliya sign, the dhamma. You have three fara'iyya sign for the rafa'. So the fara'iyya signs are the waw, the alif, and the nun. Those are the three secondary signs that things can use to become marfu' in Arabic, covering the nouns and the ism, the asma, the nouns and the verb. Sorry. So al-waw and the waw, which group of nouns we use the waw to become marfu'? This is the jam'ul muzakkari salim, the sound masculine plural. They will use this to become marfu', the waw. What is an example? Safara al-muslimuna. Safara al-muslimuna. So al-muslimuna in this case, this is a jumla fi'aliyya. Safara is your fi'lu madi, and we'll get to describing the fi'l. And then what is al-muslimuna? Al-muslimuna is the fa'il of safara, and it is fa'ilun marfu'un wa alamatu raf'ihi al-waw. The sign of its raf' is the waw, because this is using alamatu far'iyya. So the waw is the sign of the raf' of the jam'u al-muzakkar al-salim. And also al-asma'ul khamsa. Remember al-asma'ul khamsa, they also use waw to become marfu'. Because if you look at safara al-muslimuna, it ends with a fatha, but it's not mansub because it's not using asliya. The same thing with al-asma'ul khamsa. They use waw also, but in this case, you should know, I think we've spoken about this in book 2, that this is only when they are mudaf. When they are not mudaf, they switch to using alama to asliya, fatha, kasra, dhamma. But when they become mudaf, the asma'ul khamsa, the 5 nouns, they use a secondary sign. Example, Ja'a abuka. Ja'a abuka. So you see abu with the waw, which means the waw is the alamatu raf'a, and the abu is the fa'il, fa'ilun marfu'un wa alamatu raf'ihi al-waw wa huwa mudaf, and ka is your mudaf ilayhi. But if it is not mudaf and you want to say a father came, you say ja'a abun with a dhamma asliya. All right. So these are the two group of nouns that use the alamatu al-fara'iyya, which is waw when they are marfu'. Which group of noun now use the alif to become marfu'? These are the musanna, the dual. So like you say at-talibani, at-talibani, ra'aytu, or if you use ra'aytu, you have to make it maf'ulun bihi. So let's say zahaba at-talibani, two students went. Now at-talibani in that sentence will be fa'ilun marfu'un wa alamatu raf'ihi al-alif. So the alif is the alama, the sign of its rafa, because it is jam'u, because it is musanna. So al-musanna uses alif to become marfu', jam'u muzakkar salim uses waw, al-asma al-khamsa uses waw. So what uses the noon? This is the verb. This is fi'lu mudari'. For example, you say yaktubuna. Yaktubuna is fi'lun mudari'un marfu'un. And what is the alamatu rafi'? Is the waw. So this is also using alamatu fara'iyya. So those are the three fara'iyya sign of being marfu'. The rafi' will use either asliya of dhamma or fara'iyya of waw, alif, and nun. Which group of noun uses the waw? Jam'u muzakkar salim and al-asma al-khamsa. Which group of nouns uses the alif? The musanna. Which group of words uses the nun? The fi'l mudari'. All right, so that is the overview of all the alamat of rafi'. Now let's look at alamatul i'rab of nasb. Of course, this is also divided into two. You have your asliya and then you have your far'iyya. What is the asliya? وهي الفتحة. Fatha is the alamatu asliya for nasb. And this is in, just like raf' is in the mufrad nouns, the singular nouns, like taliban. So you say ra'aytu taliban, I saw a student. So taliban in this sentence, how do you do the i'rab of this? You say it is maf'ulun bihi mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi al-fatha. So that's fatha, that's at in the end, because it takes alamatu asliya, the mufrad, the ism mufrad, and also the jam'u taksir, like we said before, the broken plurals. Ra'aytu rijala, rijala, wa alamatu nasbihi al-fatha. The sign of its nasb is fatha. Or you can say alamatu nasbihi fathatun dhahiratun, is the fatha that is clear and visible. And also the fi'lu mudari'a also uses a fatha to become mansub, because the mudari'a also become mansub, and it's only the majru that the mudari'a doesn't go. It goes majzum, marfu, but not majru. And the asma, the nouns, they become everything except majzum. So just like Ibn Malik says, wal ismu qad khussisa bil jarri kama qad khussisa fi'lan bi an yanjazima. So the verb, for example, when you say lan yakhruja, lan yakhruja, so that yakhruju became yakhruja because of lan, and that is the alamatu nasb, which is asliya. So which group of nouns uses the asliya for being mansub, for being for the nasb? This is the jam'u taksir, the ism al-mufrad, and the mudari' and the fi'l al-mudari'. And then the fara'iyya. What are the signs of nasb? That is fara'iyya, that is secondary. There are 4 of them. There is the hazfu nun. So like the mudari', they become mansub sometimes with hazfu nun. So for example, you say an, which will make the mudari' coming after it mansub. An tadrusu, an tadrusu, for you people to study. You know, it's tadrusuna. So you put an, it become an tadrusu. Now tadrusu has become fi'lun mudari'un mansubun bihadfi nun, by the dropping of the nun. So this is a secondary sign. Also with the ya, there are some words that become mansub with the ya, and a clear example is the musanna. So ra'aytu talibaini, ra'aytu talibaini. So it was supposed to be talibani, but because of the amil that has entered upon it, and it's now maf'ulun bihi, so you say talibaini maf'ulun bihi mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi al-ya. So that is far'iyya also. And then jam'u muzakkar salim, they also become mansub with the ya. So for example, innal muslimina, ina. So muslimuna became muslimina with a ya. And that is ismu inna mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi al-ya, because it is jam'u muzakkar salim. All right. And then we have al-kasra. Sometimes the kasra becomes the secondary sign of nasb. Which example is that? في جمع المؤنث السالم, when you have the sound feminine plural. So for example, al-muslimati, you say innal muslimati. Why? Al-muslimati has become mansub because it has become ismu inna, and then the sign of its nasb is the kasra, innal muslimati. And then it can also be al-alif in the case of the asma'ul khamsa, like inna abaka, inna abaka, you know, like asma'ul khamsa that we mentioned here, like from ja'a abuka. So when abu wants to become mansub and it is mudaf, it will take fatha to become mansub with alama that is far'iyya. So for the nasb, the asliya is the fatha, and the far'iyya is either alif, kasra, ya, and hazf nun. So that's 4 for this one. I think we should leave it here, and then in the next session we'll continue with the khafd, and then we'll continue and look at some explanation from Ibn Malik. Barakallahu fikum, subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.